In our previous video, we saw how to set up Publisher for our leaflet, so if you haven't done that bit yet, go back to the first tutorial. In this guide, we will look at the options for adding content and making things look nice on a page. Now, before we get too much into that, a reminder that you need to save your work securely. We recommend saving your document to OneDrive, but saving it to the N drive is also okay, although you won't be able to use Publisher outside school if you have a PC with Office installed. The Insert menu is the main focus for adding content, and we've seen the Insert page already. As well as copy-pasting pictures directly from the web, you can save time by using the Insert Online Pictures to do a quick web search for images you need for decoration. Once they've landed on your page, use the corner handles rather than the ones along the edges to resize the pictures, keeping the proportions intact. Next, we add a title. Big text in a text box will do the trick, but you also have word art available to make slightly more flashy titles. You can select the word art menu when it's selected to do things like fine-tune the text color. Lots of little settings to play with. Next, some actual information. Normal text. Insert Draw Text Box is where we go for this. Click and hold the left mouse button to draw a text box and then just start typing or paste text from elsewhere. Let's just get a sentence and copy it a whole heap of times to demonstrate a lot of text. In fact, notice I've gone a little bit too far. The text is overflowing, seen by the little ... in the bottom right. Now this isn't a problem because I can draw a new text box just below and then use the ... button to overflow the text from this text box to the other one. The two text boxes are now linked, and if you delete text in one, it will drag text out of the other one. Okay, now the picture I put in earlier is buried by the text, which doesn't look great. We can bring the picture to the front using the menu at the top, or by just right-clicking on the picture and selecting the Bring Forward button in the panel just above it. The text is now wrapping around the text box as I move it, but because the picture has a lot of white space in it, the gap is large around the picture. So the first thing we sometimes like to do with these types of pictures is to get rid of some of that white space using Format, Recolor, and the Set Transparent Color option. Clicking on the white area now makes most of the picture actually go transparent. However, the text still avoids the picture when the text wrapping is put back on. So for pictures like this, we can adjust how far away the text creeps into the picture using Edit Wrap Points. This automatically uses the transparent area to wrap the text as close as it can to the main parts of the image, but these points can be manually dragged if it gets it wrong. Now the text appears to go wherever the globe isn't. Notice the text wrapping causes some words to be split with a kind of dash, what we call a hyphen, and this process is called hyphenation. It's a way old newspapers and magazines used to make best use of page space, but it's now considered a bit old-fashioned. To turn hyphenation off in a text box, we can select the text box, go up to the text box menu, and then click hyphenation on the left. You can then untick the automatically hyphenate this story option. This does it for all text boxes in that story, not just the one selected. But if we want to turn the feature off completely, there's an option under Advanced which stops any text box having hyphenation at all. Looking at the page from far off, we notice that the text is not quite filling the column on the bottom left. Make the text too big and it overflows, too small and there's a gap. You can try different text sizes until the text is the right size, and can even type in decimal values like 10.45 for the font size if you want. That's something you can't do in Word, just to really fit the text to the space you want precisely. Okay, so this looks okay, but might benefit from a bit more colour, maybe a colour background, magazine style. So let's insert an internet styled background. This one's pretty nice, so let's take this and fill the whole A5 page and set this behind all the other objects. Now we notice that now the text is pretty impossible to read, so always consider background and foreground. The colours chosen should always contrast with each other, dark or light. To make the background lighter, we can use an option to recolour or use the corrections to choose a lighter shade. There you go, that's much better. Using pictures, like you found in PowerPoint, does tend to ramp up the size of the document. Every so often, and certainly when you've finished, go to File and Info just to check out the size of the document, which will include all those images. To make them smaller, just select any image and go to Format Compress Pictures. Choose the Web option in the target output to make your pictures as small as possible, and keep Apply to All enabled. In this example, our 1.1 megabyte document, once saved again, is now showing that it's lost 40% of its size. Once your leaflet is ready, we can export a self-contained copy of the leaflet, which we can then send to other people and print into OneNote. File Export has a Create PDF option. Saving a PDF copy of your leaflet means that the person viewing doesn't need to own Publisher to see your leaflet, so make sure you save a final copy in this format to the School Network folder so you can then insert that into OneNote later. Good luck with producing your designs. Be willing to experiment and play. The only limit is your imagination.